Hey all, Glasgow Movie Addict here. Hope you're all well. Here's a wee bonus review for a film from years gone by. It's for a movie I watched over the weekend, a psychological thriller from 2006 called Bug. Bug is directed by William Friedkin, who is the man behind 1973's The Exorcist, and stars Ashley Judd as Agnes, who lives in a rundown motel out in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest in Oklahoma, working at a bar. And she's on the run from an abusive ex-husband played by Harry Connick Jr. At a party with her friend RC, she's introduced to a drifter called Peter, who's played brilliantly by Michael Shannon, and the two develop a friendship, which becomes a romance, which then descends into madness and anarchy. And I won't say any more. This film is a highly psychological thriller, and is actually one of the best psychological thrillers that I've ever seen. I really, really enjoyed this film. This is a film that I don't really remember as far back as 2006, but it would have been one. I don't think it was very mainstream. I think it kind of flew under the radar a little bit, and is quite an underrated film, a very underrated film. Ashley Judd is really good as Agnes, who plays abused abused woman from a previous relationship, and all the after effects of that. Compounded by Michael Shannon, who is a very menacing character. Peter, he's such a good actor, Michael Shannon. He plays a really good villain, plays a really good psycho. He starts off as a sort of meek, shy, doesn't say much. He's very kind of timid, and then a little bit awkward, and then he sort of goes to be initially a little bit charming, and then goes full schizo. Now this film, the themes of this film, I thought were good. As I say, it's a very psychological film, and it sort of highlights that if somebody is vulnerable, in this case, Ashley Judd's character Agnes, who's fleeing an abusive relationship, then they are prone to, they are more susceptible to be taken in by conspiracy theories, by all sorts of crazy ideas. And I think that's sort of relevant to real life, and I like that part of the film. The bug element is when Peter sees a bug on the bed, he's convinced that the government has planted bugs on them, and it's just, I won't say too much, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a really, really, the question is if the bugs do exist or if they don't exist. But yeah, it's a really good psychological thriller. The trailer for this film is slightly misleading. It makes out to be a film that it's not. But when I was watching this film, I was constantly gripped, constantly engaged, wondering what was going to happen next, thinking that the Peter's character development, going from timid to psycho, was really, really good. And the sort of, it's a sort of twisted love story about sort of loneliness, and how people who are lonely are also susceptible to be manipulated, and it talks about mental health, and it's a very, very good film, a very good psychological film with a lot of themes. I would go as far as to give Bug a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a really, really good film, really gripping, really engaging, quite shocking towards the end, and the ending's a little ambiguous, which is a thing I'm not really a huge fan of. But I thought the performances from the main leads, I thought the film was very well written. The performances of the main leads were very, very good, very well written. One of Michael Shannon's best ever performances I've seen on screen. One of his early performances, his early films. But yeah, it's a really, really good film. A real kind of not forgotten, but not very well known film that I think is heavily, heavily underrated. So have a little watch of it. It's called Bug. It's from 2006. It's directed by William Friedkin. And let me know what you think if you've seen it. Comment below. I'll see you on my next review. But for me, Bug is a very, very good psychological thriller. One of the best films of this genre that I've seen. I would highly recommend it. Give it a whirl. Let me know what you think. But it's a 9 out of 10 for me. This is Glasgow Movie Addict. Thank you for listening. I'll be back on my next review. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.